the ancient empire of Xalvoria, time was not just measured. It was stored. And Princess Lysera of House Veyl was the most valuable fragment of it. 300 years ago she was sealed. Not killed. Not imprisoned in chains. But locked inside a crystal cocoon known as the Eternal Prism. A structure older than stars. A prison made of condensed starlight and forbidden quantum magic. It did not break bodies. It froze existence itself. Inside it, Lysera was alive, aware, unchanging, waiting, while the universe moved on without her. Part 2, The World That Forgot Her. Outside the crystal prison, empires rose and collapsed. Her kingdom became myth, then legend, then nothing. Eventually, even her name disappeared from official history. The Eternal Prism was left behind on a dead moon, guarded for centuries, then abandoned, because everyone believed the same truth. Nothing inside can survive 300 years of silence. But they were wrong, because she was still there, still thinking, still watching the world she could never reach. Part 3, The Human Salvager. Kael Mercer was not a hero. He was not a chosen explorer. He was a salvage operator for forgotten relic zones. He collected things the galaxy discarded. Broken technology, abandoned ruins, dead myths. And one day, his ship detected something strange on a moon no one visited anymore. A structure, perfectly intact, impossible geometry, and at its center, a crystal tower that glowed even in darkness. Part 4, The First Contact. Kael stepped onto the surface alone. No backup, no expectations, just curiosity. The moment he approached the crystal structure, his instruments failed. Not broken, just silent. As if the structure refused to be measured. Inside the crystal, something flickered. A silhouette. A woman. Kael froze. Hello? No response. But something inside the crystal shifted. As if it had heard him. Part 5, The Legend of the Prism. His database finally returned an ancient file. Eternal Prism. Containment of royal entity. Princess Lysera Veyl. Status. Active. Duration. 300 years. Kael whispered. No way. He looked at the crystal. You've been alive this whole time? The surface shimmered faintly. A reaction. A recognition. And for the first time in 3 centuries, she was no longer alone in silence. Part 6. The Rule That Should Not Be Broken. The archive warned. Do not interact with the prism. Do not vibrate its surface. Do not attempt communication. Kael read it, then looked at her again. She was still inside. Still watching. Still waiting. He stepped closer. I'm sorry. And then, he knocked. Part 7, The Knock. It was not loud. Not powerful. Just 3 gentle taps. Knock. 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 Nothing happened at first. Kael sighed. Yeah, I didn't think. Then the crystal moved. A single crack appeared. Then another. A soft sound echoed like the universe exhaling after holding its breath too long. Inside, Lysera's eyes widened. For the first time in 300 years, something had touched her prison from the outside. Part 8, The Prison Reacts. The Eternal Prism was not just glass. It was alive. And it had rules. One of them was, do not respond to external resonance. But it was already too late. Kael's knock had introduced something forbidden. Human imperfection. The crystal began to fracture in glowing lines of light. Across galaxies, dormant monitoring systems suddenly activated. Signals long dead flickered back to life. Prism breach detected. Part 9. The first word in 3 centuries. Inside the crystal, Lysera finally spoke. Her voice echoed directly into Kael's mind. Who are you? Kael stepped back in shock. I'm Kael. A pause. Then her voice softened. That is not a royal designation. Kael frowned. I'm not royal anything. Another silence. Then she said something almost impossible. Good. Part 10. The Memory of Silence. Lysera looked around her crystal prison. I forgot what voices sound like from outside. Kael swallowed. How long have you been in there? A long pause. Then, long enough for stars to forget my name. Kael looked at the cracks spreading. I think I broke it. She answered calmly. No. You woke it. Part 11. The shattering begins. The crystal started collapsing inward. Not violently, but beautifully, like frozen light melting into reality. Kael panicked. Is this bad? Lysera replied. It depends on whether you are ready for what comes next. Kael stared. What comes next? She looked directly at him. Freedom. Part 12. 300 Years End. The final fracture spread. A soundless explosion of light. The eternal prism shattered. Not into pieces, but into dust made of starlight memory. And standing in the center, Princess Lysera. Alive. Real. Unfrozen. After 300 years. She took her first step forward. Then another. And whispered, "So this is outside." Kael nodded slowly. "Yeah. Welcome back." Part 13. The world restarts. Ancient systems across the galaxy rebooted. Lost alarms rang again. Forgotten empires received signals. Royal entity restored. But Lysera didn't look at any of it. She only looked at Kael. "You knocked," she said. Kael shrugged. Seemed like the polite thing to do. A pause. Then, for the first time in centuries, she smiled. Ending. And in a universe that had forgotten how to open doors, one human knock shattered 300 years of silence. Not with war, not with force, but with curiosity. And somewhere in the ruins of time, a forgotten princess finally stepped into the present. Final CTA? Exact line. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.